In this video, I would like to discuss about healing our shadow self. Now, our shadow self is our negative mind, which is the feminine energy. The feminine represents the negative charge, and the masculine represents the positive charge. So within all of us is a feminine energy with a negative charge, a negative mind, a shadow self. And recently I have been doing a lot of shadow healing. And what is the shadow self? It's the self that has fear. It's the self that is quite anxious. It's that self that is triggered. So within our subconscious mind, we have all our past lives streaming in together. So all our past lives pour into this great big ocean called the subconscious. And a lot of times in our past lives, we have experiences that imprint a fear or a insecurity within that code that is in our blueprint. Like a computer, when we come into the fetus, we download many codes from our many past lives. So just imagine a bunch of 10101001110, basically computer language. Visualize all of that. When you come into the fetus, all of these codes become a part of that fetus. That is you right now. So all of these subconscious past life streams, they meet at this ocean in the subconscious. So even though we may not know why we feel triggered, why we feel anxious, why we feel insecure and fearful, the subconscious knows, because the subconscious has an imprint. Experience, you may not be able to pinpoint or track that exact experience. You may, through self-hypnosis, meditation, be able to actually transport yourself to that particular lifetime, to that experience that left an imprint on your blueprint, such as fears of being in airplanes. You could have been in World War II and you were in a plane fight and you got knocked down and you burned alive. Or could be a subconscious fear or insecurity of being in tight spaces. In a past life, you could have lived in a hoarding home, or you could have lived in a homeless shelter where you were in very tight spaces with a lot of people. So you had this imprint from that experience. It imprinted on you this feeling really, really tight. Same thing goes with being in churches. You may not know, why do I feel this anxiety being in this kind of church? Well, in a past life, an experience, you could have been in a church and let's say the church caught on fire and you were in that situation. So all of these triggers, they are from that subconscious ocean that isn't just this lifetime, isn't just this childhood and the experiences that happen in this life. Yes, it can be. But a lot of times it's from the great big ocean called your 1,000 lives. So how we can handle, because when that shadow self comes up, when that negative charge arises within us, either through, it could be the smallest thing, it could be a movie or what somebody says or what you see. It could be something very small. And it just, all of a sudden, you feel quite anxious. You feel triggered within yourself. Well, that is that shadow aspect. Because we are in a polarity world. We have this light self, which is this higher self, and we have this shadow self. And the shadow self is that companion, you could say, that takes on all of the darkness of our subconscious ocean. While the light energy, our higher self energy, that wise self, takes on all of the great knowledge gained from the, not just the good experiences, but the bad experiences. So the light energy is very much the holder of truth, why you chose the experiences, and what you learned about your own being, about your own self. And a lot of times it has to do with compassion. So we connect with the light through Kundalini, through affirmations, positive affirmations, through mantras, so that we can connect with the insight of those many experiences, so that we can live in this state of gratitude and appreciation for those experiences, which is the positive charge, which is a charge of structure. The light energy provides this structure, this perspective that is of gratitude, that is of appreciation, and that is the energy that helps us to really move forward and to not go in these circles when it comes to our experiences, the bad and the good. So the neutral mind, we have a neutral mind, and that is the mind, not light, not dark. The light can represent the creation, the inspiration, the creativity, the fertility, life and death, that powerful energy. But the neutral mind is very much the mind we want to connect to when we are wanting to balance our shadow self. So our shadow self comes up. How do we deal with it? That's the greatest question. When we feel anxious, when we feel triggered, it could be by the moon. Like we have a new moon in Capricorn. You could be triggered by that. You could feel within yourself this anxiety when it comes to your career, when it comes to your status in your career. You could feel really insecure, like your ambitions are not working out the way you would like them to. So all of these triggers, how do we handle them when it gets really high? When I mean really high, we're really feeling it within ourselves, and it just, sometimes it can feel unbearable. Well, that shadow self, when it comes forward, when it says hello, you could say that darkness, when it comes in, when it takes over and you just are faced with it, this insecurity, this trigger, this fear, and you don't know what to do. Well, what I have chosen to do for my own unique path, when I feel that trigger, I decide, instead of, I'm going to tiptoe away from that which I am fearful of, or that which is the unknown to me. And what I mean the unknown to me is when I'm faced with that situation, or when I'm in this experience, my shadow self is coming out, my negative mind. That is my mystery, the mystery of my being. So instead of tiptoeing away from the mystery of my being, I decide I'm going to go right into that blue flame. And when I say blue flame, it's like the blue flame of the gas in a stove. We all can kind of visualize that gas stove blue. That is the subconscious mystery. Now, this ocean is so vast. Our 1,000 of lives are in that. But this mystery, your shadow self comes up because you have an imprint of an experience, newness. Experience is newness, is fertility, is life and death happening together. When you have an experience, a complete experience, what do you have? You have a beginning and you have an end. So always the subconscious has this slight hesitation or reservation when it comes to having a new experience, because each experience leaves an imprint. And when our experiences, they're not always good, sometimes they're bad, because we're polarity world, we must handle that we are polarity world. So the subconscious doesn't see, oh, this is going to be a good experience, this is going to be a bad experience. A lot of times the subconscious, when we're in that negative mind part, because we've been trained in society at a very young age to more so connect with the negative mind than the neutral mind. Or we're kind of like back and forth like a pendulum, or we're trained to be in the negative mind and then positive mind and then negative and then positive, and then find ourselves in this, our mind is like, like this mood swing kind of thing. Well, in the neutral mind, when it comes to our shadow self and that subconscious, when there's mystery, it's something that's new, that's something that's really, it can be terrifying. Because it's mysterious, because it requires you to transform yourself, because that's what mystery is. It's transforming you, like metamorphosing. And that's what we're here to do. That's why the 1,000 of lives is not these separate bodies. If we connect with the Egyptian, it's metamorphosis. It's a metamorphosis of your body, which is the same as leaving your body, dying, and being born into a new body. You're metamorphosing. But in this lifetime, in this energy, we're meant to metamorphose many times within our own skin. Within our own skin. That's why we say life and death, like the seasons. We're not meant to have one life and one death in this physical vessel. We're very much like the seasons, in which each season, every year, there's life, great abundance, great change and fertility and bountiful green, and then there's death. And that's the metamorphosis of us. So when there's an experience that we're presented with, and our subconscious, our fears and insecurities are coming up, because the shadow self, which is in the subconscious, kind of a part of the negative mind that has many of these past life memories, imprinted memories in its being, that good and bad, and it can't see good and bad. It just more so connects with intensity. That's what all experiences are. They're intense. So how we can, instead of tiptoe around our transformation, what challenges us, could be the slightest thing. We got to move into the blue flame of our mystery so that we can experience our transformation. And how we can do that, get into our fearlessness, getting into our neutral mind, instead of, oh, is this going to work out, or oh, is this not going to work out. We can do this for a whole lifetime, just with that negative mind of, is this going to work out? Is it not going to work out? Is it going to work out? Is it not going to work out? Is it going to work out? Is it not going to work out? We could be doing this in this limbo energy, but in the neutral mind, we are simply experience. This is my mystery. This is my transformation. And the neutral mind is in a pendulum where the neutral mind will always, through the transformation, through the experience, either it's teaching us to be discerning, teaching us to value our sacredness, to protect our energy, or teaching us to be more intuitive. Because as we connect with that neutral mind, we become naturally intuitive. Our experiences are connected more so with the neutrality, with the gratitude, with the appreciation, and therefore we could be anywhere on this planet and still be able to self-actualize to our fullest potential. Either we're in a third world country, either we're in a richy silver spoon kind of life. The neutral mind respects the experience. So if we want to step forward, if we want to step out and we want to experience our powerhouse, because that's what we are here to become. We're here to become a powerhouse, not a person who's crippled by their insecurities, their fears, and their reservations, their triggers. We have to decide, instead of tiptoeing around, instead of kind of hiding and waiting it out and sitting in our house just kind of waiting for a sign, we need to decide to be fearless, which is the neutral mind, which is the mind that no matter what happens, I can handle it. That is the neutral mind right there. That is the mind that's most adaptable and most flexible, and is the mind that will experience the most transformation in their life. I can handle it. Meaning they'll be more productive, they'll be more creative, they'll find themselves being many things in a single life, because they understand they are meant to be many things in a life. They're not meant to be this single personality until they die and then get another vessel and then they can be something else. You are meant to metamorphose in this physical life. And just like your very biological age process is a metamorphosis. From 0 to 3, metamorphosis. 3 to 6, metamorphosis. There's this growing, the physical changes, the physical alterations of your being. Even your personality shifts and changes. But when you allow that negative mind, through the just tiptoeing around, you feel guided to do something. It could be mystery really challenges you. Okay. It could even be an emotional or a mental thing that really is challenging you, where you're faced with this shadow. You feel, it could be with relationships. You feel really needy. You feel like this person's not communicating back to me the way I want them to. I feel really anxious. Well, you got to face that. You got to walk into that challenge and tell yourself that I can handle it. And give yourself a tool along the way, which can be a mantra. A mantra can be a tool that can help you to not ignore this shadow self, but to allow your shadow self to be what it's always been for you, is there, connected to your experiences of your 1,000 lives of the subconscious in this planet that were of fear, that were of doubt, that were of insecurity. But that's not meant to dictate your life, your shadow self. It's an aspect of you. It's not the total you. And that's the thing with we're training ourselves to be a negative mind or a positive mind in very imbalanced state, where we just think that our shadow self is dictator. That's why we don't want to face it. We rather just go to the party or just ignore it. But all you simply have to do is just tell yourself that you can handle it, that your shadow self is an aspect. It's not an aspect you need to oppress. You can oppress that aspect of you, but there are many things going on within your being, within your subconscious, that you do not know. And it's called the 1,000 lives. And you have memory imprinted on you called codes, like a computer. There are codes within the pixels of an image on YouTube that you can't see, but it is there. Little ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. Just like your very body, there's a bunch of ones and zeros, and each little thing represents a memory. Like a computer, it has memory of itself. And you are just this sophisticated universal computer that can connect anywhere across time and space, beyond just a computer we have in this dimension. So when you're feeling something, it's a past life energy that is wanting to be resolved. It is wanting to meet the light. It is wanting to meet the neutral mind, because maybe it didn't meet the neutral mind. It didn't have its resolution. And that's what the neutral mind is. It is the resolution. And then the neutral mind, it transmutes this unresolution in these past lives, these experiences that the negative mind just really just couldn't find the insight. Why did that happen? Why did my sister get executed for something that she was just being herself? She was just trying to help. That could be a past life. Kind of like one of my past lives thing. So the neutral mind, it transforms that negative mind into the state of mindfulness, simply observing instead of just like you let go. And then the neutral mind can transmute that experience of the past life that you don't remember but you feel because you're triggered by a person, by an object, by a show, by a word, by anything. It can transmute that into light, which is great wisdom, insight for yourself. That's what light is. It's just clarity. It's insight about your life, how you can improve your life, how you can make better decisions, how you can have experiences that are more rewarding for yourself. That's what the light, it is your guide, it is your higher self, your teacher. Insight, clarity. How to be more creative, how to have experiences that are more rewarding. But we're never going to get to that state of transformation if we're not first willing to come out of the closet. Because a lot of us have this fear of really stepping up and stepping out in our lives. Because we have an imprint within our subconscious, and that number one real imprint is this negative affiliation with experience, with going out there, stepping up, stepping out, doing something new, being peculiar and deciding to not be the same person in the same until you die. And that's the thing with this culture right now. And in the subconscious, it's been really solidified throughout the ages that we need to be the same. We need to be the same. We need to be the same. If we want to be mysterious, if we want to explore ourselves, the subconscious is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Something negative is going to happen, I bet you. Because of the negative mind that we're trained to always look through the eyes of the negative mind. But you have to decide. You can walk through and find yourself being a person that you were meant to be, which is a person that is always changing, always evolving, always transforming yourself. Because when you face that shadow self, when you allow itself to be a companion to the darkness, it's dark and there's some scary stuff in that shadow self, but you look at it, you allow it to transform, you don't allow it to dictate to you and your transformation. Because if you do, you'll find yourself stuck and in limbo. You'll fear everything, every experience, every person. You'll be paranoid if you allow that negative mind and that shadow self, which is the darkness, to dictate you. Because then you're giving it the power. You're giving it the power as in this illusion that life is this darkness trying to get you kind of thing. And that's all the subconscious. The psyche of this particular paradigm, this particular grid. But if you can step into that neutral mind, you become not just you're in the psyche and you've got to dodge things. No, you become the psyche, where you get to decide what is in your psyche. You get to decide the structure of it. So you're not like just floating in space trying to dodge, the darkness and its dark things. No, you are creator of it. So anything that comes your way, it's coming your way. Because you have contracted yourself to experience that for discernment, for trusting yourself, for being a stronger person. Not letting life just, let people do what they want to do with you. The darkness kind of thing, how to be a strong person. Because any major individual public speaker who has reformed our society, our ideology, anybody, they have a lot of darkness around them. Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Paine, a lot of darkness. A lot of darkness. But the thing that makes them different than us is they are deciding to walk through it. Not as, no, they decide I can handle this. And that's what makes them powerhouse individuals. Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, anybody. They simply decide I am fearless. I'm just going to walk through this darkness like it's nothing. And they're going to be dodging at me and stuff, but I'm such a powerful creator in my own field. I already know they're coming. I see it. I know it. I feel it, the darkness. But what makes me different is that I can handle it. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward because I trust my neutral mind. I trust my light self. That I'm going to be able to resolve, find perspectives, find solutions that can best help me to handle this polarity planet. So I'm going to leave you guys with those thoughts on this discussion on facing your shadow self. I believe this is a very important self-mastery practice, because this is going to be an ongoing thing until you die and begin your new life if you decide. So better kind of do it now than, just be in limbo and kind of delay what's going to have to happen for you to become a powerhouse individual in this life. So leave you guys with those thoughts. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.